We're back with another personality experiment, and this one might surprise you. It's lighthearted, and on the face of it, based on some of the others like jovial and whatever, you'd think this might be quite bad. Well, I'm here to tell you, not as bad as you might think. Without further ado, let's jump in. A quick public service announcement though, ladies and gentlemen, before we do dive into the content. If you don't care and you're new around here and you're not bothered, jump forward a minute. But for those of you, I do apologise for my lack of uploads in the last week and a half or so. I've got quite a few videos recorded, but I've been a bit ill. I've had an infection. I got a spot on my face. You can probably still see it. And let's go back to big camera. You can still see it a bit there. So it was right in the middle of my head. It never got a head on it for about 4 or 5 days. It was making my eyes swell shut, and it just got infected. And out of nowhere, I was essentially bedbound. I ended up in hospital and all sorts, been on antibiotics. It's been an absolute nightmare. And I've never been as ill as I have in my adult life, all from a bloody spot. I'm nearly 35. And it's a spot. Anyway, I'm all right now. The infection's gone. It's just a bit of a thing on my face. It's on its way back down. There's plenty of videos I have pre-recorded before all this that I would have got through editing and tried to keep the content going. But unfortunately, I just couldn't be bothered to do any editing or any work or anything. Like, I've just been really under the weather. So the couple of videos that came out, the last 2 videos that have come out before this were already scheduled. I've been ill for all that time. I'm recording this and I'm going to edit this and get this up as my next video, and then there'll be quite a few videos where you won't see this big spot because, they're pre-recorded. I'll start getting to edit them and all that good stuff over the next coming weeks. So normal service should be resumed going forward, but I might still be a little bit tired and a little bit meh, so I might not hit as many uploads as I have been, but I will certainly endeavour to. But I'm back on YouTube, and here we go. Drop a like on it to try and pump this out to the algorithm and help me out. It'd be very much appreciated. So anyway, light-hearted personalities. Let's get into it. Enough of the medical woes. We're all good. Thanks for your concerns in the DMs, because quite a few of you actually messaged, which is very humbling. So thank you very much to everyone who has. For everyone who's thought about it and just thought, I wonder where he is. Whatever. That's where I've been. So we've got 5 light-hearted strikers today, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Martin Vandenberg, our Dutch contingent. We've got Gonçalo Costa, our Portuguese. We've got Francois Jacquin, our Swiss, which is a fantastic name, isn't it? Francois Jacquin. Amazing. Lucas Quedru, our Belgian. And Altine Ozgur, our Turk. Well, light-hearted then. Is that a good personality? Well, I'm going to show you. It's all right. Look at that. That is a light-hearted personality. Some of the attributes that here do not take effect, but you've got quite a few attributes that are actually quite high for light-hearted. So yeah, it's not too bad. You've got 17s and 16s for a few alright attributes. They're not the best attributes. We have established that on the channel in the past, but you've got decent stuff here for ambition and professionalism, and it's all still under the umbrella of light-hearted. So what I would say is, if you've got a light-hearted player, chances are they might not be actually that bad in terms of a personality. I mean, it's a bit like Fickle. Fickle's a good personality type. Mercenary, they sound bad on paper, but they're actually all right, which then contradicts when you look at something like Jovial, where you think, maybe might be all right, and it was rubbish. Spoiler for a video that came out a while back, but I thought I might drop that in, seeing as no one watched it. I'm not bitter. Look, these personality types aren't for everyone. Look, I make them because I'm interested in them. If you don't want to watch them, that's absolutely fine. If you're here watching, I do thank you. Anyway, that's it. That's the personality type. They are all 15 years old. 200 potential ability, of course, starting off at 90 for accountability. They're 182 centimeters tall. And yeah, that's about it. Of course, as you see, all the players were mid-journeyed up. This guy's got a second nationality of Ghana. He doesn't look very Ghanaian. We'll let that go, shall we? Francois is German as well. He could transfer to Germany from Switzerland. I wonder if he will. Anyway, on we move. Let's go to 2024 and see where they start their careers. Okay, so Gonçalo Costa has gone to Viz in Portugal. Martin Vandenberg is at Ajax. Altine Ozgur at Adanaspor. Francois Jacquin is at Monaco. And Lucas Quedru is at Montpellier. But he's wanted by a few teams on loan. And in terms of improvements, we've not seen anyone sort of fly out the gates. We've got 2 at 99, 1 at 98, 96 and 93. We have got some good appearances though. Lucas Quedru from Montpellier 2. A goal every other game. So I think they're all going to be playing the B teams and stuff. be perfectly honest. Although, no, Gonzalo Costa is actually playing for Viz, 4 in 19. Not the best return. A lot of those were off the bench. 17 were off the bench. 22 and 22, non-competitive, so that's the reserves. Yeah, so, okay. Well, here we are at 16 then. We're going to move on to 2025 and there'll be 17. And I think we might start to see a couple more moves. A couple of loan moves for some of these players might really help them kick on as well. Okay, no transfers whatsoever, as we can see. However, a bid is currently in for Alternate Oscar, and bloody hell. Look at this. Unwilling to make an offer while the transfer window is closed. Well, let me tell you now, you stubborn bastards. You snooze, you lose, don't you? Because the Germans, the Turkish, Torino are in there, Lazio, a couple of Bundesliga teams. So it's not like, well, I don't know. All these teams are unwilling to make an offer while the transfer window is closed. Well, he's not going to go there, is he? He's going to go. Where is he going to go? I mean, Dortmund feels like a great place to go as a youngster. We haven't seen much happening in our players going to Dortmund. Very rarely do they go to Dortmund, which is weird, isn't it? One of the bigger teams in Germany. You'd think they would. We've seen lots of Leipzig and Bayern Munich, of course. Dortmund and Leverkusen, there they are. Well, where will he go? That is a question that remains on everyone's lips, and he's literally on his way. Could go to Leipzig, could go to Frankfurt. 4 Bundesliga teams, 4 Turkish teams. I think going abroad's the right move for him. Francois Jacquin is wanted by Neuchâtel Xamax, only a rumoured interest. So, in terms of current ability then, let's go from top to bottom. Well, we've all improved to over 100 inside 2 years. So, 104 out of 200 for Francois Jacquin, and that's because he's just played for Monaco 2, unfortunately. Gonzalo Costa, who is still at Viz, again, he's not had the best of second season. He's actually only played a lot of games from the bench, and he's actually played non-competitively from the bench as well. Under 23s though, so he's moved up from the under 19s to the under 23s, where he's still scored a lot of goals. He's on 105. Alternate, who is on the move, is at 108. Lucas Quadru from Montpellier is at 110, and he's just been playing for Montpellier 2, who did get promoted from the French non-league to the National 2A, which is not loaded as a database. Not loaded in the database for me to save on simulation time. So, don't know if he got relegated again. But he's won the Under-20 World Cup with Belgium. Did you look at that? Well, there you go. 6 under-21 caps, 1 under-21 goal. Belgium under-20s. Well, he played there in the semis as he beat Morocco 2-0, did not score. He was a substitute. He came on as a substitute but did not play as many minutes, did not play enough minutes in order to get a match rating in the quarterfinal. In the second round against Brazil, well, he only went and scored an 88th minute winner. Hello, go on. Group stage, a substitute. Started against Cameroon, no goals. And he scored in the 86th minute in a 2-0 win against Argentina. So he scored 2 goals in this tournament, both of them very late on. One of them winning the tie against Brazil in the second round, helping them on their way to an under-20 World Cup win. Well, that bodes well for future international tournaments, doesn't it? And then Martin Vandenberg is at Ajax, and he's playing for Ajax reserves, but of course, he is 100% a team that's got phenomenal facilities. I mean, look at that. 20 training facilities, youth recruitment. I mean, Ajax are one of the best teams in the world to produce all these wonder kid youngsters. I mean, the Ajax team of the 90s, the stars they produced, and they've continued to produce over the years. It's been, well, something to behold. And he's there. He's being nurtured at a very decent place. Well, we're going to move to 2026, and I'm sure there will be quite a few moves, but Alternate is one I'm very looking forward to. He did go to Dortmund. Go on. He's in 3 Liga because he's playing for Dortmund 2. He has actually played 4 times for Dortmund's first team, 4 substitute appearances, but he's got 2 caps and 1 goal for Turkey, the main national side. And he's up at 120 in terms of his current ability. They're all still lighthearted, apart from Francois Jacquin, who is wanted by quite a few teams on loan. He's now turned to resilient. Well, anyway, Alternate is at Dortmund, and he's the best player of the lot at 120. Moving down the list, we've got Martin at Ajax. He's made 1 appearance for the Ajax first team. He's played a lot for the second team. Unfortunately, quite a few of them are off the bench, so, you know, it's one of those things, really. Gonzalo Costa is still at Viz. He's moved on. He went on loan to Pau FC in Liga 2 in France. Yeah, we got 5 in 26. That's not a good return for a striker, is it? Not a good return. They didn't get relegated, though. Lucas Quadru at Montpellier. Again, he's broken into the first team with 4 substitute appearances. he is playing non-competitive football. And he's also gone down to Montpellier too. I mean, Montpellier, is he been playing for the under-19 team? Is that the non-competitive? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what's gone on there. But hey, it will all work itself out in the wash. Francois Jacquin is still at Monaco. He's made 7 appearances for Monaco and he's got himself a goal. All of them were off the bench. He started in the cup competition. So 10 appearances for Monaco this last season. 9 off the bench, 1 start, 1 goal and a 6.66 average rating overall. Very devilish. For those of you who are wondering, I'm looking there at the bottom of the screen. So it is 6.66. So don't get in the comments and go, it's 6.62. Well, yeah, get in the comments. Yeah. Feed that algorithm. Yeah. So there we go then. I'm surprised it's been not as many moves as, well, I'm surprised there's been less moves than I thought. Just the 1 move for Alternate Oscar. Let's go to 2027. And, well, so it's starting to look, they're all keeping pace with each other. Quite often we do see players really pull away. I mean, I suppose 9 attribute points is starting to pull away, and that could have a massive effect going forward. That being said, they have all, 118 to 127 is still quite a close-knit sort of spectrum of attribute breakdown. Quite a condensed spectrum of the attribute sort of differential. So Francois Jacquin, we're going to go to him first. He's got 10 caps for Switzerland, so he has become Swiss. He's a Swiss international. He's actually been on loan to Grenoble, 9 in 29. His goal scoring return isn't as good as you'd hope it to be. And he's got some decent attributes as well. He's not too small. He's not bad heading, good jumping reach, good finishing. His off the ball and composure are decent. As these improve, he will become a bit more. I think he's just a couple of attributes in key areas off being a bit of a superstar. Also at 127 is Martin, who's got 16 on finishing now. And yeah, 15 on pace. So these are starting to improve slightly differently. And he's made 18 appearances for Ajax. A lot of them were off the bench. Let that be known. 13 of them off the bench. 4 starts, 4 goals. So, yeah, he's starting to do bits for Ajax in a season where PSV won the league, unfortunately, by a singular point. Oh, dear. They both won the last game of the season. Ajax did beat PSV the second to last game of the season. So Ajax did everything they could. PSV were just too far gone. They lost to ADO Den Haag there. That's what killed them. They won that, they'd won the league. And they undid the damage by beating PSV. Anyway, unfortunate. Has he got a league title for... He played, so he is an Eredivisie champion. He's also a Kuchen Campion Divisie champion. Alternate Oscar at 124. Well, disappointing that he's not actually kicked on as much as I would have liked. He's not had a loan move, but he has played 11 times for Dortmund. 5 goals, 9 of those appearances were off the bench, so only 2 starts to get 5 goals. He's got a 7 average rating. Look at that, Dortmund won the league in the first season. Unai Emery's in charge. Bayern have won 2, Leipzig have also won 1. Yeah, Dortmund won that league in the first season. Fair play. Anyway, who's at 124? Gonzalo Costa still at Viz at 121. He's now playing regularly for them. And, I say playing regularly, 17 appearances off the bench out of the 28. 8 goals. And Lucas Quadru at Montpellier, just rotting at Montpellier too. Right. Well, yeah. Okay. So, the 19, we're about to move to 2028, but of course, won't be the first video back without a little Ralph watch, especially considering we've actually popped over to the Bundesliga already. He's the manager of Swansea, ladies and gentlemen. He's been at Clermont as well. There we go then. There is your daily dose of Ralph watch. Oh, he's only been League One champion and he's manager of the season. Go on, Ralph. The accolades, the trophies. He's won the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. This man, look at that. Promoted as champions from League One. Bristol Street Motors Trophy winner and manager of the season. Ralph Hasenhüttl has had a season to behold. I can't wait to check in another year's time and witness him be sacked due to the club's poor league position. Oh, we move to 2028 then. Okay. He resigned as the Swansea manager. He's now the manager of Finland. Fair enough. Okay. And the gap's getting bigger. It's 13 attribute points. Lucas Quadru is still down at the bottom. Alternate Oscar still at 124. That's disappointing. That's very disappointing. He's wanted on loan. It's because he's not played 5 games, 4 goals in this last season for Borussia Dortmund. 4 of those were off the bench. I can't believe they're not giving him a chance. For the world at his feet. He's now resilient. Francois Jacquin at Monaco is also resilient. and he's improved to 136. He's got 28 games for Monaco. 26 of those were starts. Of course, PSG are winning the league, but Monaco finishing in the Europa League places in 4th. Maybe some more goals from Francois Jacquin would get them a little bit higher up the league. Martin van den Berg at Ajax is starting to play a little bit more often. 13 appearances off the bench, 9 starts in those 22, 10 goals and an assist in a 7.03 season. He's also made his debut for the Netherlands, and he's the young player of the season, the Dutch young player of the season, should I say. First international cap and goal against Bosnia-Herzegovina. He also did not win the league. Second again. Look at that. 6 points this time off the pace. Gonzalo Costa for Viz is wanted by Sunderland. And yeah, he needs to move. He's not scoring anywhere near enough goals for Viz. Is that because they're rubbish, or is that because he's a bit rubbish? But I feel like Lighthearted isn't actually that good of a personality now. But looking at them, they're improving a bit, but it's slower. It's a bit more plodding than I would have liked and I would have expected based on some of those hidden attributes. Well, we're going to move to 2029. And we look at that. Francois at 150 at Monaco. He's breaking into the first team. 14 in 30 this season. His best return in the first team. First time he got double figures. Of course, in the second team, he got over 20 in that season. But yeah, 14 goals this season. 146 for Martin. He's wanted by AC Milan as well. Lovely stuff. Still only the one game for Holland. 12 in 28 this season. Playing a lot more. And they won the league! He won the league with Ajax. Unfortunately, he was nowhere near the top goal scorer charts, but that doesn't matter. 13 points they won the league by, ahead of Feyenoord. PSV down in 3rd. And look at that. He's a league champion, ladies and gentlemen. He also won the Dutch Cup. Gonzalo Costa is wanted by 13 clubs now. He's transfer listed by request for £16 million. Who wants him? Active interests. So Luton, Leicester, Frankfurt. Ajax want him. No funds. Well, if they lose Matey Boy to AC Milan, then they'll be straight in there. Inter Milan would be a good fit for the current squad. Leipzig, PSG. Not the first choice option for this position. Interesting. But a 145, so they've kicked on. And unfortunately, these two have been left out to dry. These two have been hung out to dry and they've drifted off to sea. Alternate Oscar, he's left Dortmund on loan to go to Reims. 28 appearances, 8 goals. 20 of those appearances were from the bench, and he's now only up at 127. Lucas Quadru, has he just been lost in the reserves again? I mean, pretty much, just off the bench. It's just sad. It's just sad. So 2 in the 120s, and we've got 2 in the 140s and 1 in the 150s. So these 3, it's a race to 200. These 2, it's a race to save their career. And I was champion in Dortmund, and he ruined him. Bloody hell. Right. Okay. Excuse me a moment while I just eat my words, because now he's up at 139, his old Alternate. He's come back to Dortmund, and he's... Sorry? No. He went on loan to Stoke. 39 appearances, 17 goals. An absolute storming season in the Championship, where Stoke finished 6th. Oh, missing out in the playoffs. Middlesbrough's champions. Wolves also going up. Would you look at that? Have a bit of that then. He's gone to Stoke and he's done very well. So Dortmund got him a good loan move. He's now at 139. Is that enough to get him in the first team? I'm not sure why he's been playing all these other random positions. It's not like his attributes sort of lend themselves to those different positions. He's very much a centre forward. Good finishing, decent height. No outstanding attribute. Not like he's really quick where you go, slap him on the wing. No, he's averagely paced. I mean, 15's not bad, but he was at like 12s, 13s, 14s leading up to this point. Anyway, he's at 139. Lucas at Montpellier, I mean, less said about him the better. So 5 in 25, 22 off the bench. Let's leave him. Gonzalo Costa did go to Sunderland for £16.25 million. He's playing in the Premier League, and last season, Arsenal won the league on goal difference ahead of West Ham. All right. I mean, I didn't expect that. Sunderland beat relegation by 3 points, finishing 17th. 16 goals. 16 goals for Gonzalo Costa. But a good signing for Sunderland, nevertheless. Now, he is, of course, improving as well. And he has improved to 158. What's his contract saying? He's got a minimum fee release clause of £96 million for clubs in UEFA Champions League, which would be a great profit for them. But even if they got relegated, a £48 million release clause, which, in my opinion, would be worth it. After 5 international caps, his wage is going to 170k. That's a big wage for someone like Sunderland. I don't think they'd be paying 170k for anyone. He's worth it. He's very good. He's got 2 caps for Portugal as well. Harry Kewell's in charge of Sunderland, and the wages Dan Neil at 140k. You had their pants down there, Daniel. Dan Neil is pulled off a Saudi Arabia style wage for his ability. I'm sorry, Dan. You are not £140,000 a week. You're not the highest paid player at a club kind of wages in the Premier League. Just saying. So the Jack Clark as well at 125. Who's doing Sunderland's financial bidding? Transfer listed by request for £24.5 million. I mean, if they get £24.5 million for him and he gets 125k a week somewhere else, I mean, I'm sorry, Jack. You're also not that great. You're not worth that money. Gonzalo is. Trey Hume in the 140s. I mean, £100,000 is a bit steep, but it's more acceptable, isn't it? They're paying quite a bit for people, Sunderland. I mean, look at this. Grantley Arndale. He's a good player on 91k a week. That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of player you want, about 90. 140k, Dan Neil. This video is going to go well long. I don't care. I mean, I'm appalled. Right. Harry Kewell's in charge of Sunderland. And there's Gonzalo Costa at 158. So all three of them are at 158, these three. And we're going to look at Francois Jacquin, who's got 32 caps, 16 goals for Switzerland. He's playing for Monaco, 22 goals in this most recent season, in a season where Monaco did actually finish 8th. What? And he was the top goal scorer. Montpellier had 2 in the top 3. So Francois Jacquin needs to move from Monaco for me. He wants to make something of his career. He is wanted by Tottenham, AC and Inter, so a move could be on the horizon. Martin van den Berg is wanted by Arsenal and Tottenham for Ajax. In his most recent season, he got 16 in 31, and they won the league for the second year in a row. The top goal scorer, he was second, ahead of Josh Sargent, behind Thibaut Barten. I mean, that's the face of a man who has had his name pronounced wrong his entire life. And I've continued to do so. He's just wholly unimpressed. You top goal scorer, Thibaut. Have a bit of smile about you. Give it a bit of the Josh Sargent. Anyway, so there we go. We've got a little bit of action happening over here. But let's have a look at. We'll go Francois, and we'll compare him to Martin. As you can see, these players have got exactly the same attributes at 158, or current ability, should I say. But as you can see, they've improved slightly differently. Gonzalo Costa as well, again, not too dissimilar. Unfortunately, we go down to Lucas Quadru, and yet, there you go. I mean, he looks pissed off, doesn't he? You look at him. He looks pissed off. I think it's too little too late for him. Alternate, he might just by the skin of his teeth. These guys have improved more. He's clawing it back. He's pulled away from Lucas, to be fair. Another good season for him. You never know, do you? So let's go to 2031. Right. So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. So let's just dive straight in. Gonzalo Costa is wanted by 23 clubs. He wants to move to a bigger club. Sunderland got relegated. He got 19 in 35, despite the fact they got relegated. That's not a bad return in the Premier League, is it? I can understand why he wants to leave, to be honest. They finished bottom as well, like dead last. I mean, to be fair, look at that. 34-34 for Sunderland and Brentford. Then you've got Middlesbrough, Leicester and Norwich all on 35 points. So one win in those last few games could have changed everything. Man City back on top of the league. Poch in charge because Pep got sacked. He's now at Arsenal. They sacked Mikel Arteta, who's unemployed. He's been unemployed for 3 years. So anyway, he's wanted by 23 clubs, and look at that. It's half the Premier League want him. Bayern and Dortmund both want him. Ajax and Feyenoord. AC Milan. I mean, he's literally got a choice here. He could literally pick where he wants to go. £48 million was his relegation release clause. His active relegation release clause as well. So £48 million. I mean, someone's coming in for him for £48 million, aren't they? He's worth well more than that. 170. He's a world-class talent. 7 and 11 for Portugal as well. Francois Jacquin went to Inter Milan from Monaco for £102 million. And he's played 26 times, 13 starts, 13 off the bench in a title-winning season, but he's not the first-choice striker. Who is, I hear you ask? Shaquille Van Persie's there. Lautaro Martinez is there. You've got quite a few players that can play up top, but quite a few players that can play in the hole behind. Not that they do play the hole in behind. No, it's just basic 4-4-2. Shaquille Van Persie, decent. Toro Martinez, 33. Coming to the end. By his time, Francois, he's at 166. He's 23 years old. He will be in and amongst the Inter first team. I mean, he's there in and amongst the first team anyway. 13 starts, 13 off the bench. He's a very much squad player. He will remain a squad player for next season and then probably kick on and become a bit of a demon. Martin Vandenberg, £107 million from Ajax. Just now, 15 in 25 for him. 3 in a row Eredivisie wins. What's the Willy van der Kiezen trophy? Top goal scorer. Oh, runner up to João Pedro. Also for Ajax. There you go then. So he's moved for £107 million to Manchester City. Alternate is wanted by Real Sociedad. He just sub-merchant that season for Dortmund. Leipzig won the league 3 years in a row. Lucas Quadru is actually closed in. He's now only 5 behind. Norwich and Real Sociedad want him. Montpellier, again, he's not really played much. He's just off the bench. So infuriating. But Gonzalo's going to move. That's a given. And then probably to a big Premier League side. So we're going to have 2 players at the top of the Premier League duking it out. Francois is in Italy. It'd be great if he came over as well and was at a different team. We had 3 of them. These 3 are chasing 200. These 2 are chasing airtime on this video because they're going to get very little of it. Let me tell you that for free. Okay. The Francois Jacquin at 174 for Inter Milan. He's overtaken at the top of the charts. And, well, I said he might be in and around the squad over the next season. He is the main man at Inter Milan. Bars. 27 in 34. They've won the league. He's got to have won top goal scorer. By an absolute mile, he's won it by. 19 for Shaquille Van Persie in second place. And also making a bit of noise was Daniel Quieto. Maybe not making so much noise at 18 and 36. I don't know, I was leading up to a joke and a pun, like making some noise, Quieto, and it sort of fell apart, didn't it? So, awkward. So Francois Jacquin is absolutely dominating in Italy. Alternate Oscar for Dortmund at 141 is now bottom of the table. 16 appearances. Lucas Quadru for San Sebastian. He's moved for £17.25 million and played 29 times, 11 goals. 19 of those are off the bench. He's at 146. Martin Vandenberg at Man City. 7 in 23. 21 of those were as a substitute, unfortunately. It's because they only play 1 up front and they've got Erling Haaland, so you're going to play second fiddle for a few seasons to Erling Haaland, aren't you? Is he going to make it to 200? Erling Haaland might stop him. He's the Premier League winner and a Carabao Cup winner, though. He's got 20 and 28 for Netherlands. We will be checking international tournaments at the end, for all of you who are keen to know. And Gonzalo Costa has moved to the other side of Manchester. So I said 2 teams duking it out for the league. Well, probably not, really. He's gone to Manchester United, who are managed by Thomas Tuchel, and they've been finishing 5th for the last 2 seasons. Gonzalo Costa, wow, have a bit of that. 33 games, 1 of them off the bench, 26 goals. Is that a golden boot? Yeah, Man United finishing 5th, getting Champions League football, of course. The top goal scorer. He did win the golden boot ahead of Gonzalo Ramos on 24 and ahead of Erling Haaland on 19. Erling Haaland only scoring 19 goals. Gonzalo Costa's the golden boot winner 2 seasons in a row. He was the golden boot winner on 19 goals as they got relegated. Second was Paul Maxwell, who also got relegated, I think. What a crap season that was for the league. These 3, we're starting to enter mid-20s now. I'm not sure they're actually going to make it to 200. Let's go 3 years to 2035. They'll be 27 years old, because I appreciate this video is probably rumbled on far longer than you guys want to be watching it for. But I'm not recording in ages. I'm having a great time. Right, they're not going to make it. I mean, those 3 are still at those 3 clubs. I mean, there's been no transfers in 3 years, let it be known. Alternate Oscar wanted by Hertha BSC. Let's just get rid of these 2. So, yeah, middling for Dortmund. I mean, 13 and 29 there. And then just back to being sub-merchant. Lucas Quadru at 148. I mean, again, he's playing more of a sub-merchant for Sociedad. Gonzalo Costa then for Manchester United. Never had a season like that first season of 26. He got 20-18-18 in the subsequent seasons for them, in the league, that is. Martin Vandenberg, let's have a look at him. So he, unfortunately, didn't have a great first season, but it looks like he's going from strength to strength. Look at that, 27 games, 26 of them as substitute, 1 start, 14 goals. So that's a great return for me, a fantastic return. 25 in all competitions, and the following season 11 starts, 18 off the bench, and this most recent season 34 starts. Not once did he come off the bench in the league. 24 goals. And well, let's look at the Premier League then. Well, it's been last 3 years. Man City have won the most recent with Martin leading the line, scoring the goals. Oh, and he was second in the top goal scorer, Neil Jonkman. Another Dutch striker, 160. The 2 Dutch strikers in the top 3. Top 2. Gonzalo Costa, 3 years in a row, was the Golden Boot winner. Tidiam Gomis for West Ham. They finished second that season, which was very out of character, out of nowhere, lower mid-table. Then they finished second randomly, and then they'd be back to mid-table. So I don't know what happened with West Ham that season. They just had a good one. Sometimes West Ham get a tycoon, sometimes West Ham just do really well. But it's just one of those things that, just a random one. So yeah, and then Francois in Italy. Let's have a quick look at him. So we've got, I mean, look at that. 29 in 34. 30 starts, 4 of them off the bench. AC Milan have snuck a league title, but Inter are basically dominating. And top goal scorer, since he turned up, Francois Jacquin has just walked away with the trophy. Doesn't even bring it back. Just leaves it in his trophy cabinet. And they send the engraver around to just put the extra year on. Is that how it works? Or does he get a new trophy every single time? I don't know. Anyway, we are looking at 2035. They're 27 years old. Let's go 3 years to their 30. I don't think they'll might be starting to decline by then. I don't think they're going to hit 200 though. They might. Don't think they will. Altenay's still at Dortmund. He's transfer listed by request. His race is run. I'm not 35.5 million. He's transfer listed by request for. Again, just depressing. Lucas Quadru is wanted by Valencia. Why? Oh, he's actually playing. He's scoring goals now. 144, 145. Well, these 3 at the top, still at the 3 clubs that we left them at. Inter, Francois Jacquin. We'll quickly just shoot through that. I mean, not a great season goals-wise, this most recent one, just 20. They have won the league every single year, though, the last 3 years. The most valuable coach is Zinedine Zidane at Inter. And look at that, he's just walking away with it. Even a season where he only gets 20, Merlin Clays can only get 18. Luke Gillam, £87 million he was bought for from Manchester United. Well, there we go. Inter Milan dominating Serie A. Martin van den Berg is representing for Manchester City. He's doing pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Gonzalo Costa for Manchester United. Again, he's also doing pretty good. So let's have a quick look over the Premier League. Well, look at that. Manchester, 3 years ago, Man City won the league. Then it was Arsenal. And then West Ham have come second again, just randomly. Yeah, but Man United have won the league. So Gonzalo won the league. Top goal scorer. Martin third. Gonzalo not even in it. Niels Jonkman. Wow, Niels Jonkman. I'm sorry, Niels. Not even that good. 160. 160 current ability. And he's taken the Premier League by storm 4 times in a row. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Madness. In terms of Champions Leagues, we have had Manchester City and Martin, of course, have won a Champions League. They've just lost a Champions League final to Arsenal. They actually beat Man United in the Champions League final when they won it in 36-37. So that was Gonzalo versus Martin. Diego Costa's in charge of Man City. Okay. a rogue appointment, but we're here for it. You love to see it. Oh, Martin scored in the final in a defeat on penalties to Arsenal. In this Champions League final, neither of them scored. Who else has won it? I mean, Arsenal have won loads. Inter won one back here. I don't think he wasn't there then. But Arsenal have won loads of Champions Leagues during this experiment. That's probably because they had Pep in charge and Vincent Kompany. Yeah. Jack Wilshere, of course. 2 cup wins. Jack Wilshere is an unemployed coach. He's got amazing attributes. Someone snap him up. So we've had some good success Francois has had the most success because he's just gone to Italy and dominated, hasn't he? He's not won a Champions League though. Martin has. He's won a league. Gonzalo's won a league. The other 2 can get out. Not even in this conversation. So 2038 we're in now. I feel that their careers are on the decline. Francois seems to have got to the highest height at 191. And we are going to move to 2042. Altenay hasn't even got a club. He's what's happened to him then? Newcastle bought him for 29.5 million when they've got Niels Jonkman. Who's in charge? I mean, I tell you what. I wonder who's in charge of Newcastle's transfer policy. Probably the same person who's in charge of Sunderland's recruitment policy. Thomas Tuchel, Xabi Alonso. I'm not sure who was there. I don't know. £29.5 million Dortmund got for him as steal. Newcastle. He didn't start in any of those 8 games. Went to PSV on loan. Started 8 times. 7 goals, to be fair. 1 start there, and then he went to Rangers on a free. 1 season, and now he's been released. He's probably going to retire. Lucas Quadru has gone to Al Duhail. He went from Sociedad to Ajax for £31 million, and then they managed to recoup 20.5 million. To be fair, Ajax were playing him. He did all right for Ajax. Gonzalo Costa is wanted by Saudi Arabia. In the last 4 years, he's fallen off, isn't he? he is falling off. I mean, 34 years old now. He's at 166. Yeah, Francois at Inter Milan. He's still rocking and rolling. Managerless. Napoli have just won the league. Inter finishing third for the first time. They haven't won the league in 10 years. And for the first time, Francois did not win the Golden Boot. It was Ryan Hamilton, the Northern Irish Napoli sensation. Well, there you go. Martin at Man City. He's still doing bits, isn't he, for Manchester City? He's still doing all right. He's got 102 caps and 126 goals. He's got 86 in 126. Gonzalo, 102 in 136. The Premier League then, well, the last 3 years, it's been 4 years, so it's been Liverpool, United, City and Arsenal, all sharing around the top 4 positions. West Ham nowhere to be seen once again, but Man United and City have both won a league title. The top goal scorer, Martin, has won 3 of the last 4. Akeem Yakubu winning from Newcastle last season. Niels Jonkman, he's still at Newcastle. Looks like he's probably playing a bit more deeper, in my opinion. Billy Comp is in charge of Man City, and in the last 4 years, we've had Barcelona and Napoli. Then Man City have won another Champions League, so that's 2 for Martin. But Inter, for the first time in this experiment, have gone and won a Champions League. Pep has just resigned. Wherever he goes, he just wins trophies, doesn't he? He's now become the manager of Leipzig. They're just dominating Germany. Anyway, these players are all about to retire in the next couple of years. Let's go to 2044. So we've lost whatever his name was, the underwhelming Dortmund legend. Francois went to Al Ittihad for £27.5 million. He spent one more season at Inter. He didn't win the league, and then they've won it. Now he's gone. He won the Champions League. He won the Italian Cup as well with Inter. He won plenty of Serie A titles. He's won the most trophies, in my opinion. Martin still at Man City, surprisingly. Champions League, of course, we saw. No, he's won another Champions League. He won another Champions League. Rennes have won a Champions League as well. Xabi Alonso has won a Champions League with Rennes. Of course he has. He's won the FA Cup and Premier League as well since we were last here. Gonzalo has moved to AC Milan from Benfica. He went to Benfica for 1.8 million, went to AC Milan for 3.3. Bit of a squad option. I mean, he's at Alder Hale still. Another season then. We've got 2 left, and I've gone for... So there's 2 left here in 2045. I've just been to 2046, and they were all gone. Yeah, Francois is about to leave now. His contract's expiring in 3 days. Gonzalo, his contract expires in a year. He's wanted... He doesn't. He just retires. So, yeah, he didn't win a league. Man City won the most recent Champions League. Gary Dicker is in charge. Martin retired on the 11th and 7th, 2044, so he did not win any more trophies with Manchester City. But it's time to go and look at the Golden Ball and all that good stuff. So the Golden Ball, have we had any winners over the course of this experiment? At the moment, it's looking like no. No Golden Ball whatsoever. We've had... Footballer of the Year. Again, nothing for Footballer of the Year. Player of the Year. Francois Jacquin won Player of the Year in 2040. Martin won it in 35. One apiece. Well, Francois, in my opinion, has done the business, hasn't he? No one's in the all-time team, though. Nor have they got themselves on the bench. So, there you go. That is Lighthearted personality, ladies and gentlemen. And Rhys Healey is the manager of Inter Milan. We're going to have a look at the... top goal scorer, Francois Jacquin. So Francois had the best career. He's still very good as a player. He's actually still at 159 at the age of 37. He's about to retire any second. Very good seasons for Al Ittihad in Saudi Arabia. A phenomenal career for Inter Milan. He was the shining light. He won the most trophies. Admittedly, was only competing against himself in the Italian league. If someone else had come over, would it have been a bit closer? I don't know. But he also got to 191. So, Lighthearted as a personality, in my opinion, is a good personality. He's actually now professional. His determination's gone up and professionalism and all that. But Lighthearted is a good foundation for personality. A little bit of mentoring, and you can actually turn them into a little bit of a world beater. Even if they stay lighthearted, they can with game time. Just make sure you play them. That's the end of today's experiment, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Thank you very much for watching. Comment down below on any suggestions for future experiments. Do leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new around here. And finally, take good care of yourselves, gang. I'll see you soon.